I'm going to hit record. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the team call. I'm so excited to have our guest speaker on tonight. A little bit about her. So I became a coach in early February 2012. And once I started to really go all in with the business, I'm talking about listening to national wake-up calls, really focusing on turning this into a business and not just a hobby. I started listening to the National Wake Up Call. I started looking at the Coach Online office, which a lot of new coaches don't. I know that. And I saw this event that was taking place in Dallas. And it was the first corporate event that I ever attended other than a very small Super Saturday in June of 2012. Siki was going to be there. I was absolutely terrified because I didn't really know what to expect. They were expecting over 200 people there. I only had one person commit with it to me, and it was somebody I'd never met who was a coach. She jumped in my car about an hour away from my house, and we drove to Dallas 3 hours together and never met. So really, it was everything outside of my comfort zone. So I know I tell people all the time to get to live events. I'm pretty sure all of you, have the same thoughts I did of being scared, not knowing what to expect. And I walked into this room, and if anybody follows any Beachbody coaches, even back, 4.5 years ago, the hub of Beachbody really seems to be either in Santa Monica or Dallas. And Dallas is where it's happening. Some of the top coaches and founding coaches are there. And I walked in, and I was, very timid. I elected to sit up close. And I'm glad I did, because I sat behind Danielle Natoni, who everybody knows is one of my mentors and friends, and she posted on Facebook that something about that she was here at this event, and I said, "I see you," and she turned around and waved to me. And I had just started following her because her and Melissa McAllister were on the National Wake Up Call. She was a 5-star diamond coach, so I was like, starstruck. And then it was this crazy energy that happened, and everybody was like jumping down the aisles, and then there's Caroline there, and I remember that me and Louise, my coach at the time, said like, "Wow, she's so cute," and we were just so, couldn't believe how fit Danielle was. And I just remember this energy from Caroline, and I just thought, man, she's a winner. She's always, this is somebody that's always been cute and just winning, win, win, win. And, then she started to tell her story, and I'm sure she might share. She's got a big story, so I don't know what she's going to share. But the biggest part was that Melissa and I pursued her over and over and over again to become a coach because she was already into fitness, and she was stubborn and said no. And I was like, oh, so even successful people like Melissa McAllister get no's. And so, I've followed her over the years and seen how her life has changed. And the biggest thing is I actually got to spend a lot of time with her when I went to a Danny Johnson event that one of our uplines kept talking about. And I just remember what Craig Holiday said, and other people said, that if you want to be successful, get next to successful people. Well, I followed our upline, and he was going to Danny Johnson. I didn't even know what Danny Johnson was. I bought her book because he said it. Then he said he was going to Dallas. And, Miami, our upline is in Miami, Becky and Christina, so I don't get to see them very often. So this was the closest I was going to get to somebody that was our lifeline. So I drove to Dallas all by myself, slept on the floor with people that weren't even part of Beachbody. But I met Caroline and Heather and Jason, Tommy Migrant. And then that is where everything really just changed, because these were these elite coaches that didn't know me. I wasn't even in anybody's downline except for one coach. And they took me under their wing, treated me as if I was one of their team members, if we knew each other our whole entire life. And I realized at that point, I want to be them. I want to be an elite coach. I want to be that. And I promised myself that if I ever was an elite coach, that I would be kind to people the way that they were. And then I promised myself that I would give my message of what I've learned as a coach to anybody who would listen on social media or in person, because what I heard from her, Danielle, Robert Hudgens, and Melissa, and Jimmy Nelson and Danielle Natoni and Melissa McAllister, there's things that they said 4.5 years ago that I still apply in my business, and I still watch them apply it, that has led to our success and our longevity of our success. So anyways, Caroline's had a few twists and turns in her story, and I've never asked her to speak on a call because she's always been busy, but I thought now was a great time, and she said yes. So I am going to stop talking, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
All right. I am absolutely humbled by the fact that one thing that's very important to me is remembering where you came from. And I never forget my roots or where I came from. My humble beginning, I grew up in a big Italian family. We didn't have a lot of money, a single mom. And I never forget that. And I apply that, with my life today, that, I'm just grateful for, everything that I have. And Mindy is just always that, first of all, a servant leader. And not only that, she doesn't forget where she came from. And she's always the first one to step up and thank somebody else from, years back when, now she's an amazing, top coach and she's so successful, but she never ever forgot the people along the way when she was sleeping, with a bunch of different people on the floor. And by the way, I had a hotel room and you could have roomed with me. Totally would have had you. We should have had that discussion, but she doesn't forget that. And I have so much respect for people who are humble and they don't forget where they came from, even when they see success, and then they reach a level where, it's easy to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, but I took some notes. So I've got to put my glasses on because I totally can't see up close. The glasses are going on, y'all. And I want to say this, look, this is my mommy. Like, I am in my pajamas right now. I'm Beachbody and I'm real. And right now one kid is eating popcorn, watching a movie, and the other is off at a volleyball practice. And this is me, ponytail, zero makeup. I don't get dressed up for you guys. I don't need to. You're my family. And so I am honored that you're taking time out of your family's life or whatever you could be doing this evening and taking time to spend with us and allowing me to share my story with you. So glasses on so I can kind of see my notes. I may take them on and off during, but okay. So I want to share with you my life before Beachbody. I went to UCLA, graduated in a degree. My degree thing is right there in mass media communications. And I did a gig at CNN for a while. I thought I wanted to be a reporter. I did a bunch of things in my life, but during that whole time, I really had a passion for just health and fitness. And, I taught classes, and that was really my passion. Although, I felt like I needed this full-time job, or I had to do something else because obviously as an instructor, you don't get paid that much. So I couldn't pay the bills. So, fast forward, I left CNN. I left that whole broadcasting industry. I got a great job with 24-Hour Fitness, and I was like the divisional director over like 50 clubs or something in Northern California, which, was a great job. It was a great full-time job, but I was micromanaged and I had corporate, like, really, down on me. You need to be here. You need to be at that club. You need to be at this club. And for a while it was fine until my babies came along. And then once that happened, I realized I don't want to be micromanaged. I felt torn. I wanted to spend more time with my children. And so I left 24 and just became an instructor, just a full-time instructor, whatever that means. As much, stuff my body could handle, I would teach as many classes as I could. And, I was being paid to do that. Flash forward, we moved, my family, my husband and my children, we moved to Frisco, Texas. And I didn't know anyone. And I took my classes off because now I'm just getting into, I don't need my notes. I'm just going to talk to you. So we moved to Frisco and I didn't know anyone. And I decided the best way to get to know people is to start volunteering within my community. So I did everything I could to volunteer. I still taught at 24, taught a few classes, but I was on the PTA. I got involved with my HOA. I joined the social committee. Just put it this way, if there was anything that could be volunteered for, I raised my hand and did it. I just wanted to get to know people. And then I turned into this, like, volunteer, if there's like a volunteer addiction, that's what I became. And I just did everything in my community within my kids. And one day my husband looked at me and he said, it would really be nice if you could get paid for some of these meetings you keep, going out to. And I'm like, hey, wait, volunteerism fills my heart. Like, no, you don't get paid to volunteer. You do this, it's a service. But it stayed in my head. During this time, Facebook came about, and I was watching, posts on Facebook, and I saw Melissa McAllister and some other people posting about this beach body, and there was this first summit that I didn't attend. I think it was in 2010, maybe, and I just saw these big celebrations and all this excitement, and I thought, you know what? In my quiet moment, I thought, wow, I love being a mommy. I do. That's like, but I'm also a woman, and I have a college degree, and I have so much to give the world, and dang, it would be nice to be paid for it, and to have some of my own money, and to have, just my own contribution, I guess. I love my children, but I wanted me back, if that makes sense to anyone. And so, I kept watching all that. And one day Melissa approached me, and, I'll make this really quick. And, she just, we met, and she gave me these DVDs, and I'm thinking, and I went home and I threw them on the counter, and my mom was there, and I'm like, this woman doesn't realize how busy I am. She wants me to do like this. I don't even know what it is, but it's like, she wants to add something else to my plate. Like, and I just threw the stuff. I'm like, she has no idea who I am. And I'm like, so pissy. So I started ignoring her at the gym. Like, literally, if I saw her coming up the stairs, I'd go the other way. I was like, I want no part of whatever it is that she's trying to get me involved in, because I am way too busy for all of that. Well, one day, I don't know what happened, but I had, maybe I'll call it an epiphany. And I've had many of them lately in my life. And I realized, I'm like, whoa. I am in a marketing meeting, and I'm planning out this event for our neighborhood. And I have so many people that I know, and so many people that trust me, and so many people that I've never, ever in my whole life tried to sell anything to. Maybe I should talk to her and just see what it is she has, because they seem like to be having a lot of fun over there. Well, she came over, and long story short, she brought Shakeology. I tried it. I was like, I'm in. This Shakeology, I'm in. And I don't want to get into my story of I'll touch briefly on it, why I raised my hand and I said I'm in over Shakeology without asking the price, what does it take? But I had a huge, like, sort of eating disorder, caffeine addiction during the afternoon, just really crazy habits that Shakeology got me off of. And I have a whole YouTube video about that, my share about that, about how, my children were starting to get to that age. They noticed mommy didn't eat lunch. And so anyway, Shakeology saved my life. Instead of going to Starbucks and filling that addiction, that caffeine addiction, and my kids noticing I'm not eating lunch, I traded those empty calories in that caffeine for my daily dose of dense nutrition. And I've rarely missed a day since 2011. So as I fast forward, and I'm going to put my glasses on again really quick because I want to check my notes. That is where when I said I was in, I also said, listen, Melissa, if I feel stressed, if you push me too hard, that's the reason I don't work for 24 or in corporate America, because I don't want stress in my life. I've decided I want to commit to my children. So don't stress me out with goals, with quotas, or with anything like that. If you do, I quit. I completely quit. She was like, okay, it's, $40 to join. You're going to get 25% off your Shakeology. I'm like, sweet, I'm in. I started drinking that. My passion for Shakeology, I became what you call ignorance on fire. Literally, I knew nothing about the business. I was never a whatever you even call what we are. What are we? multi-level marketer, whatever. I don't even think I'm that, but whatever. We fall under that umbrella, so cool. I just started telling and sharing with everyone I knew what Shakeology had done for me, how it got me off my Starbucks, how it, I reached, I was in my 40s. I reached this plateau where, I just was like gaining weight and couldn't lose it anymore. I shared that with everyone I knew. And before I knew it, people were purchasing it from me. People were, coming to me about it. And I want to share a nugget with you guys right now. If you lead with that, if you lead just with your passion, people feel that. And my commissions, when I first started as a coach, are the exact same as they are today. What I'm paid per week today compared to when I first started as a coach is 100-fold, but my commissions are the same. So my nugget to you there, and I want to segue, is build a team, build a tribe. Don't be afraid to ask people to join you, to join what we have. If you're still that coach and you're enjoying those commissions, and you're not inviting people or asking people or sharing the opportunity with people, you're missing a big element of this business. If you want to turn this into a business. Now, if you're happy to get your discount and this is a hobby for you, that's great. Continue, going down the road of getting, enjoying your commissions, your 100 or whatever per week it is. But if you truly want to build a business, invite people to this opportunity, because that is what will grow your business. And that is the very thing that has grown my business. Glasses on, because I don't want to miss anything here. This business is mastering the basics. And when I say the basics, I mean the 4 vitals. I do nothing today different than I did in 2011 when I started. And I want to beg you, don't get distracted by shiny objects. Don't get distracted by what other people are doing. Don't get distracted when you see someone else is perhaps more successful than you. Don't get distracted by that. Put your blinders on and run your own race. This is your race. It's your story. It's your journey. So the 4 vitals, if you stick to the 4 vitals, product to the product, you know what the 4 vitals are. But I want to touch on something. If you miss one of those 4 vitals, your business will absolutely suffer. It will suffer. You're a product to the product, you're doing your workouts, you're doing that, you're doing the recognition. The one vital that is, to me, the most important is your personal development. If I am not the same person as I was when Mindy met me, I was starting out on my journey then. And yes, I had seen success because, again, I was ignorance on fire. I didn't worry about, am I doing, do I have all the latest apps? Am I, I was just talking to people. I was just sharing my passion with people. And people understand when you're sharing your passion with them. They sense where you're coming from. If you don't engage in personal development, that is where you are going to get hit in the face with a lot of no's. Life is going to be hard. This business is going to be hard. Your family is not going to support you. You're going to have fear. You're going to have doubt. You're going to have all of these things come in. I still have it come into this day. You're going to feel like quitting. Over the past 6 years, I've had those thoughts of, what am I doing? Like, what I have to hit Success Club again. I freaking just hit it last month and now I'm 0. Are you kidding me? Like, what? Jay, But if I don't do my personal development, I can let all those voices get into my head and it will mess with me. And I'll give myself all these reasons why I don't have to hit Success Club, or why it doesn't really matter, or why I just can't handle what's happening today, or life threw this at me, or that at me, or the kids, or this, whatever it is. But through personal development, you create your mindset. And your mindset is your state, and that's your vibe. And your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're in that mindset of, oh my gosh, I don't know, so-and-so's more successful, or, I just don't know if I can do that. That's the vibe you're putting out there. Your mindset is everything. It's absolutely everything to your business. So if you're not, that's what I need right now. I need you guys to let me know. Give me your hand. Tell me, I need an interactive thing. Are you on a daily basis? And I seriously, do you on a daily basis do personal development? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? A big yes or no. Okay, some of you guys, yes. Okay, Nicole, yes. Another nugget, relationships. If you have a mindset of what can I get from people, I have to hit Success Club. I want these points. I need to sell these challenge packs. I want to be on the leaderboard. I want. Guess what? You're not going to get. You're not going to get, and you're going to suffer, and you're going to feel frustration, because it's a me mentality. It's like, what, me. It's all about me. It's about my successes. It's about my points. It's about my team. Or am I growing? Or they get going inactive? And then you just start going crazy. Has any of you read this book, The Go-Giver? This is going to be one of my personal development recommendations, The Go-Giver. It is by Bob Burg and John David Mann. A little story about a powerful business idea. If you've not read this, I would recommend picking it up and reading it. It is about just a servant mentality. Like, how can I serve? How can I get out of myself? I personally recommend you do that in all areas of your life, whether it's your relationship with your significant other, your relationship with your children. If you seek to serve others first and add value to others and add value to their life, you'll get abundance in return. It's the law of attraction. This business is about relationships. It's about relationships with people that you're sharing this opportunity with. It's about relationships with people on your team, about the relationship that I have with Mindy Horde. It's about being vulnerable. People to feel hope. People are watching you. And I look at, myself, and sometimes I go, you know what? Well, in the past, not recently. Recently, I've had a big twist, but in the past, I would think, gosh, how do people relate to me? I'm already fit. I'm already this. I'm already that. How can I inspire them to become, fit and to become more healthy? Because they look at me and like, how do you get it? Because you're already there. You're cute. Mindy said I was cute. I'm just saying how she saw me. I don't know how people see me. Oh, she's energetic. She's cute. She's this, she's that. Well, that can be very intimidating at the same time to someone who is hit rock bottom, who needs to lose 80 pounds, who maybe is in a bad relationship, who looks at me and thinks, oh, well, she has it all together. So let me tell you now, if you don't have it all together, good. Use that to inspire others. Whatever it is that you could be hiding, whether it's an addiction or a personal struggle that you're going through, let me tell you, everyone is struggling. Every single one of you that are right here with me, there's something going on in your life. There's something that you can share with the world. And whether it's ego or, a concern with, well, what people will think or whatever it is that's holding you back from that, the world needs you. The last year has been the most challenging, hardest year of my life. I've gone through, I'm separated from my husband, which is a positive thing. It's not, I'm going through, my history with Beachbody. I'm going to do it in such an unconventional way, a way where there's no drama and it's very healthy. And, it's very important that we take this time apart to continue to grow and be healthy for our children. But even saying all of that, it's a very difficult, vulnerable, hard thing to share with people. It's something that I kept hidden for so long because I thought people won't. Thank you. I think there's a comment down there, but I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read it. But I came out about it and I shared it right before Summit, and what I felt was a very eloquent way to share. And when I went to Summit this year, I was so scared that I was going to be judged, or, I had just shared this, I'm separating from my husband, and the love that I received. I got more hugs at Summit than I've ever had in my entire life. And people I didn't even know, it came up to me and, said to me, your words, you were speaking my thoughts and my feelings, and everything you said, it's my life. Or it was, you're going to do it. You're going to make it. People that were happily married, I'm so proud of you. You're strong. You can do this. We support you. And even at the last day at Summit, at Celebration, corporate came up to me and they hugged me and they said to me, Caroline, we love you. We love you. We support you. You're so strong. You can do this. And that meant everything to me. You guys are my family. Like Mindy, Tamara, you guys are like, when nobody else supports me, this community always embraces me. We always embrace each other because we lift each other up. That's what we do. That's our job. And my God, what a beautiful job. That's our job. We are paid to inspire and lift others through our struggle and through our pain. What a blessing. So when I left Summit on Sunday, I flew out, and my mom, this is all dedicated to my mother, this whole Zoom. My mom texted me like she always does, and she watched the live stream of Summit, and my children watched the live stream of Summit. I love you. Okay, go brush your teeth. And she texted me, so is your flight number 1147? And I'm sitting there at the airport and I'm like, yes, mother, it's 1147. Okay. And so, and she did all these emojis, like big heart, smiley face with the big hearts and thumbs up. And I did her a bunch of emojis back. I'm like, okay, cool. Heading home. I'm safe. I had a good time, landing at this time. That was the last text I'd ever received from my mom. Because the next night, oh God, I really don't want to cry to you guys because I want to add value. The next night, she suddenly passed away and from a heart attack or something. And I didn't find out about that until Tuesday night. I got a call, and you got to understand, my mom was my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. And she followed my Beachbody journey and was so proud of me. And she would be on Zoom right now because I was her life. And she was so happy of the woman I was becoming through Beachbody and the mom that I was to my children, and how, I taught my children that although I'm a mommy, I still have a career, but it's on my terms, and I work from home. And when you get home from school, I'm here for you. And that made my mom so proud that I was passionate and fulfilled about something. And, again, I'm her only child, and, she's a single mom, and I come from this humble beginning with this big Italian family with a ton of love, and I was her everything. And I shared everything, every, up and every down with Beachbody, with her. And, I posted on our team page, Tamara knows, the stream, and she was watching the whole, summit. But so I share this with you because if you allow, and if you, through personal development, if you allow this opportunity and this community to stand by you, and if you will open your heart and share your vulnerabilities and share your struggles with people, you'll be rewarded. You will so be rewarded in abundance. So I know that the biggest blessing in disguise was when I said yes to Beachbody. And I also know that if you just share without any hidden agenda, and you just share with people your passion for this business and what it can do for others, your business will thrive. And with that, I want to kind of turn it over to Mindy. And if there's any direction or anything, Mindy, that you kind of want me to touch on from here, or any questions. And I mean, we can completely shift gears. I'm here to serve you guys and add value to your business. So, absolutely anything, any questions, or Mindy, if you want to toss anything out.
I had a question that I was going to ask you, but I'm just kind of blown away about your mom. I didn't know that. If you posted it, I'm sorry that I missed it. I'm really sorry. I watched. That's the one thing that, to reiterate basically what she said, is that we become close, and it's not always the same for every coach, because there's coaches who don't go all in. They don't get involved in their team. They don't get involved in events. But I've watched Caroline. I wanted to be her. And then she made me realize that she wasn't anything more special than me, and that I could do it and that she could do it. And she treated me like a person when she, not any better. And we got close. And, I've watched her mom, always commenting on her stuff, sending her little things, always there. And it literally took my breath away, because I'm friends with Caroline. And I hate that she's had a rough year. I know what a year she's had. I had a year like it last year. And to not have your best friend and your mom there, who's always been there, is probably tough. But I know it's tough. But the thing is, people have these stories all the time, and it's not a big deal unless you're close to people. And that's what Beachbody's about. Charlie is like one of my best friends. He isn't actually part of Team Relentless, but he's part of Team Relentless. He's not officially part of Team Relentless, but he's part of our family. And, he comes and visits us. And these are the relationships that I would have never had. Robin, we went to school together, and we have reconnected. Adam and Ryan worked together for a short period of time, and then we've stayed friends this whole time because of Beachbody. These are the things that I try to instill in my team, and unfortunately there's only a few people that show up all the time for calls, but those people that show up all the time are the ones that are deeply rooted, that they go past it, that they know what's going on in other people's life. And today, Melissa Galmay had a one-day coach sneak peek thing, and I popped in. I did a live video because I'm her coach, and I was just sharing kind of a little highlights about my day that, you know, this is the first time that I've had a kindergarten or first grader that didn't have to do after school care because I can pick them up. But I also, you know, wanted to share with the people that are thinking about joining our team is what I was saying is that from the moment you join Team Beachbody and get a coach, even as a customer, you never have to be alone a day in your life unless you choose to. And there are coaches who refuse to get involved in their team, refuse to go to events, they refuse to do all these things, and they're alone. But you don't have to be. And I just love that because I come from a life of being alone. And I love this, and that's my message and who I share. And I see so many people, like Caroline said, that, you know, want to get everything perfect. My last year was the biggest mess ever. And I shared it as I went on, and I actually grew my business stronger than before and kept hitting Success Club 10, 15, 20, almost 30 in those months, even when I was a mess. People want to see things that are relatable, and they want to see an answer and a solution out. And I know that Caroline's done the same thing because she shared it very eloquently, like she said, and respectful of her family, and respectful of, you know, everything that's going on, and people can relate to it. And it's just been amazing. So that's all I have to say. Does anybody have any questions? There was a question I was going to ask you about business, but I can't remember what it is now.
You should have written it down.
I know. Does anybody have anything?
And you guys can totally shift to business or whatever. Like if there's absolutely anything on your mind, just ask away.
Well, I'll ask you this just for the team. Elle's here, one of my new coaches, and she comes over every Tuesday night, and we hang out and do the call together. But one thing I was telling her was, you know, we were actually talking about the importance of personal development. I give my Audible login and everything to all my coaches so they can, you know, listen to my book, so it's not an expense. And I was telling her, I'm like, I didn't really start doing personal development until I really went all in. So at what point did you decide that personal development was something? Because in the beginning, people don't care about personal development. I didn't.
Right. Well, I will say this, and I share this with my children, and Jack is right here. I'm very adamant about positivity in my home and with my children, and positive affirmations. And they know that we don't speak, he's personally, just a story about him right now. He's going through football tryouts. It's like the first 2 weeks of school. He's in 7th grade. Every day is a tryout. And then you find out if you're on A or B team. Well, we speak extremely positive. It's like, you know, we're A team. A team's what we're going for. You know, we're gonna go hard every day. But whatever the outcome is the outcome, and that's what's meant to be. But I have been in personal development. I kind of touched on it as a child with my father. He was in something called Scientology, which is kind of strange right now, but he introduced me to that at the age of 13, and that's kind of around the age my kids are. So that's why I recommend, if you know you're a parent, to let your children see that you're doing personal development. I didn't, stay in Scientology for long, but I learned to read books about bettering myself at a very young age. And, yes, there was a big gap, for a period of time that I didn't do it, through my teen years or whatever. But it was through Beachbody that I really realized the importance of it, because it just, I kept listening. Okay, yeah, you're right. So I would pick these books up, and as I would read them or the audios, I would just have these aha moments. And, whatever struggle I was going through, whether it was Jim Rohn I was listening to, or, Brian Tracy, or, whether it was in my car. I remember when they were little, they'd be like, do we have to listen to the man? Can we listen to, you guys wanted to listen to like kid music, and they, the minute they get, do we have to listen to that man? But I'm like, it's good because it's getting into their little, their little brains. And so I'm like, we'll listen to the man for a little while, and then we'll listen to whatever you guys want to. And so, it started early on, and it's an addiction. It's one of those healthy addictions like fitness. Like, once you start doing it, and then you start overcoming a fear because you're like marinating your brain in this positivity. Because life is going to throw stuff at you. You know, these guys, you know, their friends are going to be mean, or they're going to have peer pressure, or whatever's going to happen. And, or, you know, one of my coaches is going to go inactive. Oh my God, 10 of my coaches went active. Oh my God, my status is dropping. Oh God, you know, or someone's, you know, hollering at me, or my best friend isn't speaking to me. Oh wait, that's not really my best friend anymore. I didn't even, you know, why did I even think that was my, you know, all these different things. But when you're doing your personal development, you can manage your way through it, and you realize, you know, certain things that are important and other things that aren't. One thing, you know, another little nugget I want to share with you guys is, if any of you guys have Spotify, I used to talk to my mom every single day on my way home from the gym, like every day, like clockwork. And I had a big void when, you know, I couldn't pick the phone up anymore and call her. So what I started doing on my way home from the gym is, on Spotify, there are these motivational, like 3-4 minute segments that you can just click on. And that filled my void, and it, you know, it helped my hurting heart. You know, it's only been a few weeks since she passed, but that's what I recommend you guys doing is your personal development is key. And if you're resisting it, that's the very reason you need to just do it.
Jimmy, is that it? Okay. I didn't know that about Spotify. Elvis was like, we were just talking about, like, we thought it was music. Yeah, personal development is key. If anybody doesn't have anything else, I have one last question. So Caroline, I know you've been in this business for, you know, over 6 years. Obviously your passion is still the same. Your story's changed. I will say your delivery message is the same. That's one thing that, again, that I will say, that all the people that changed my thinking and made me go all in at that event in August of 2012, literally, I watched them. I'm friends with them. I spend time with them, and they're doing the same exact thing. Parts of their lives have changed, but they're doing the same thing. They didn't stop doing personal development. They didn't stop caring about their fitness. They didn't stop inviting people to their team. They didn't stop drinking Shakeology. They didn't stop sharing. They didn't stop going to the event. They never thought, oh, I'm too good for this. They kept going, and they kept bringing people along with them. So I want to know, is like, I hear this all the time from people that, you know, well, coaching's just not for me. And usually that means that they got too many no's, or they weren't, you know, plugging into the right things. They weren't doing the 4 vital behaviors. I know why that is, but I always kind of think too, like, oh, helping people is not your thing. Okay, that's fine. But, you know, people just kind of in the beginning can be explosively good at coaching because they hit their, you know, warm market, the people that have built trusting relationships like you had with the people you volunteered with, but then eventually they cap out. And, you know, so I have a new coach on that literally just signed up hours ago. So she called in. But what piece of advice would you give to anybody, and to even a brand new coach, about keeping their success, the longevity of their success? Like, you know, I don't know if you can cut it down a couple sentences, but
it's just deciding to go all in. It's a commitment. It's a mindset. And all it boils down to is excuses. And you can look at anything else in your life. If you need that immediate gratification, you're not going to always get it in this business. You just have to decide, I'm in no matter what. You have to have a no matter what mentality. I would not be making a 6-figure income now if I worried about or let the outside influences come in, you know, life come in. Oh, this just isn't for me because, oh my gosh, the kids are, you know, I'm having this or that, or this personal or that. The outside things, if you let that come in and then, you know, it makes you say, oh, this just isn't for me. You can't do that. It's health, it's fitness, it's bettering your mind, it's becoming a better parent, a better person, a better spouse, a better significant other. If that's just not for you, that's hard for me to grasp or understand, because that's all it is. We're not selling candles. We're not selling a wrap. We're not selling jeans. We're not selling jewelry. We're not selling, period. We're sharing longevity. We're sharing ways to make you live longer for this guy, for what's important. And if that's just not for you, then I guess Beachbody's not for you. I mean, that's all. It's so simple.
Well, it was an excellent call. I just love.
Hey, Mindy, I have a question for Caroline. Hey, Caroline, this is Robin. So I might have missed this in the beginning because I had to jump on a few minutes late, so I apologize if this is something you're going to repeat, but can you talk a little bit about how you talk to like your cold market strangers, that people that just like things on your like page, and how do you create that conversation with them that moves to like what is their why and how to move forward from there?
It's okay. So for instance, if someone recently, with the things that I've been going through in my personal life, someone will say to me, oh my gosh, you just spoke my life. And then I'll ask them, I'll say, well, first I'll thank them. I'll say, thank you for sharing, and I appreciate you commenting with me. And I'll start to build that relationship, and I'll ask them something about them. Well, what is it? What is your struggle? What is it, with you? And then they'll just come back. And then when they come back, then I just, not immediately, within the next day or so, then I'll go back and I'll ask them, well, what are your passions? What are your goals? How's your health? How's your fitness? Because obviously they know that's a passion of mine. So for me to ask them, how's your health and how's your fitness, is a very natural segue. So then they'll share with me, well, actually, like, I'm really down, or I'm in a rut, or I'm this, or I'm that. And I'm like, well, let me help you. Do you want to, have you, and I'll say something. Have you heard of the 21-day fix? Or, have you, and I'll just start it that way. Like, have you heard of? And then that will open the door to a very gentle, like, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And then you learn, well, are they working with someone else, or, so that you always act with integrity. But they'll say, oh yeah, actually so-and-so is doing it, because everyone's heard of the 21-day fix. So that's typically my lead in. Well, have you heard of, because, and so if you lead in that way, you're going to open the door to those questions. They know you're in that industry, so it's okay. It's just not having that ick factor, that they sense that. And truly in your heart, don't have an agenda. Like, don't look at them as points. Don't look at them as anything. Just ask them. And if, they'll sense that, and then, they'll come to you, they'll trust you, and then they'll say, okay, no, tell me more. And then there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I always tell people that instead of invite, have it be connect. And I truly go in with the intentions of every person I know. And I've always done this. So I actually understood when I can answer the question now. People would always say, well, how are you so successful? Now I get it. I've always done this. And so I'm passing on to anybody who is struggling, is that my whole entire life, I was always searching for connections, for friendships, because I didn't get to have friends as a kid. I was adopted. So anyone I met that showed any interest in me, I asked like a million questions. Drives my husband and my best friend crazy, but I want to know everything about you. And I'm that friend that will remember your birthday. I will remember the date your mom died. I will remember I remember what you were wearing at that event. I remember exactly what was said. I remember what Melissa was wearing. I'm that person. And so I go in with everybody they meet as my potential next best friend, because literally when you come on my team, you become my best friend. Some people stop being my best friend, but that's, again, I just don't understand that. But that's because they decided to do something else because it's too hard to do what we're doing. But I'm still winning with the intentions that I'm going to be your best friend. And if you go and do something else and come back, you're still going to be my best friend again. And I'm going to miss you when you're gone because you were my best friend. So when you go in like that, trying to make a friend and with no agenda, it's so easy, And I mean, and for me, like, if you struggle with it, I always tell coaches, find a coach, like Charlie was outside of our team, or even somebody in your downline or somebody else's downline in our team. Start forming a relationship with them and use them as your guinea pig, because you really have no agenda. You can't sell them shit. You can't sign them, but just get to know them. And, then once it becomes, normal and it doesn't feel weird or awkward, then it's going to be easier. But you have to keep doing it or it's going to still feel awkward and weird. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you, Caroline. Again, I'm really sorry about your mom. And Jack, have a good rest of the week with your tryouts. I can't wait to hear, buddy. Hope you make A team. Do your best. Thank you, everybody. Next week, we're doing a team call. It's the Teamsy training. So if you have Teamsy and you're using it, get on. If you don't know what Teamsy is and you need to get organized with your business, jump on too. It's the same time, 8:30, and it's always open to the public. So anybody that's on Caroline's team, you're free to jump on at any time. Thank you. Love you, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you too. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Make sure